Hello, middle college students. Good to see you or not see you. Wish I could see you. Don't know how excited you guys are about seeing me, but just want to check in with a video announcement here today, this afternoon. It's Tuesday, March 31st, last day of March. Wow, things have gone fast. Um, just wanted to touch base about all of my classes. So I'll be posting this announcement in all the classes that I have for middle college. And we began online learning via OTC Canvas yesterday, so hopefully everybody's checked in on that. Pardon the horrible glare on my glasses. Again, I haven't figured that out. Um, but classes started online yesterday. Some of you have already checked in and cranked out some work, so kudos, great job, way to go. Stay on top of things. My classes, the way they're set up, pretty similar to usual because I usually have everything up on Canvas. Just kind of tidying things up a little bit and making sure everything's on a Canvas page or a Canvas assignment page or a discussion board page. It looks pretty similar. One of the things I have done is that I have a header for each week now, week 1, week 2, week 3, and those are within each of the individual modules. And in the modules, right beneath the header, I have created a checklist for the week. I've done that in all the classes except from economics. I'll try to get to that today. If I don't get it done this week, I will definitely have one up next week because I want to start building next week's activities, hopefully today as well. But those checklists just shows you what you can do and where you can do it, where you can find all that information. I've been thinking ahead a little bit. I would have pulled one of those up that you could have seen on the screen. But if you have questions about it, let me know. I think they're pretty self-explanatory, but that's just to guide you. The way I've set my courses up, kind of how I do my college classes, I've put everything for the week up. All the readings, videos, assignments, everything's up, and all of the assignments are due the end of the day Friday. That allows you to kind of work at your own pace. So if you want to jump in and crank through things and get done early, you can do that. I'll be flexible with due dates. I know that everybody's functioning under some unusual circumstances. And so if you're having trouble getting things in on time, I'll take late work, no penalties. The due dates are mainly just to kind of help keep you from digging a hole and getting too far behind with things. Just pay attention to those, but if you have problems, let me know. And I can work with you on that. Trying to minimize the tasks that are required. The workload varies from class to class. Those in Holocaust, there's a little more reading and writing. There's just a lot of stuff in that class. Try to find ways to make it engaging and interesting for you. I think a lot of you actually like the idea of just being able to get in and get to work and do what you need to do. I do miss the engagement that we have in class and conversations. One of the things about online learning that I found is that it tends to be a little more efficient in terms of getting through the material, though. So we'll see how that works out here, but I don't want to overwhelm you. All of your work will be submitted on Canvas. I know some of you had adopted the practice in classes before break of writing things up and taking pictures of your handwritten work, and I'm okay with that. If you want to keep doing that, I'm okay. That works for you, but I do need it submitted on Canvas. We do any kind of projects, which I'm not sure that we'll do too much of that because I'm going to try to keep things relatively simple. You can take pictures of those, but we'll find ways to work around things. I may integrate a tool called Flipgrid. Some of you may have worked with that before for some things to provide just another option. It's just a pretty simple to use device, kind of like a video discussion board that integrates really nicely into Canvas, and basically a one-click function, and you can make a recording of yourself responding to discussion type of questions. So they integrate that some. may offer that as an option for in place of some written activities. I'll work on that. Hopefully that can evolve and develop here in the week or two. Just a lot of things to get done, even though we're working at home. So, as I said in the video I posted last week about your promise and my promise, first and foremost, you guys need to take care of yourselves and your family. The class is at best secondary. We'll get through this in terms of the course, and I'm sure we'll get through a big picture if we all just make a concerted effort to take care of ourselves and our family. I really encourage you guys, and always do, to stay tuned, stay in tune with the news. I think that's really important in this situation. Things are changing rapidly and daily. There's a lot of misinformation that floats around out there. You need to be aware of, and I know some of you don't like to follow the news, but you need to be aware. You need to be aware of what medical, scientific, public health officials, experts are saying and following their directives. And you need to realize the seriousness of this. So pay attention to the news. Pick a news source. Check in with it once or twice a day. And I've always told you guys that, but especially now. I've mentioned several before in class, and I'm going to post the outline I'm using as a script for this that has links to some. But CNN, NPR, Vox News is a newer news source that kind of takes a higher interest. And I'm looking here to see UPS trucks outside, making sure the doorbell wasn't going to ring. Vox News, a newer news source, online based, open source, so it's free. High interest approach to things, so some of you may want to check it out. USA Today is known for taking a very basic approach, a very objective approach, so that's always a good source. You guys all know I like the New York Times, and you have a free access to that through OTC. You can just go into OTC, and in your Canvas classes, if you click on the left-hand side of your screen, there's a library resources button. And again, if I was good, I'd have this pulled up for you to look at. But you pull it up, and on the library resources page, you can scroll down, and I believe there's a link to New York Times. You can set that subscription up, and it's free, and that's a huge value. So that is available to you guys for free. Also, Washington Post, it is a paid service, but a lot of these news sources are opening up during this time. And New York Times, Washington Post are known as high level journalism for quality of their work. A lot of their articles are more in depth and longer, but that's one of the reasons I like them. And then a couple of just news services, what are called wire services, that goes back to the old days when newspapers used to use a thing called the wire. But Associated Press and Reuters is more business oriented, but these are the sources that newspapers get their news from. So they regularly check these, and they see things that are posted there, and then they build and follow on them. But they are very basic news service, good way to get just basic, straightforward information, very objective and unbiased, basically just presenting the facts. So those are good news sources. And then if you're interested in more of an international spin, BBC is a good site. So those are just some things that thought that some of you might want to check out. Or use as news sources. And of course, the local news sources. The News Leader is a great source for local news. I encourage you to use them and to follow them for local news. And then the TV and radio stations locally have some good news sites. So stay on top of the news. It's really important. And this is where you're applying those social studies skills, making the connections to the things we're talking about. In every class that I teach, there's lots of connections that can be made to government, to economics, and the choices that are being made, not just, and then the economy itself. Obvious connections in the Holocaust class and African American studies and the ideas of how we reach out and connect with others in the world that we live in. So be thinking about those, but using those critical thinking skills that hopefully you're developing in those classes to wade through all this information and think about what's legit, what's not legit. And again, I encourage you to go back to those news sources I've mentioned. I know some of you depend on Facebook and things that get posted there, or Reddit. Careful, because anybody can post anything. So sorry for the background noise. But it's important to know what's going on. And in the world we live in today, it's very functional, critical to your daily lives. And as I said, connections to history, and this is a historic event that we're living through. You need to pay attention to that. As I've talked about the current political situation many times, again, this is something your kids and your grandkids are going to learn about. I'm going to do everything I can to get you guys through the class. That's my goal, to make you guys successful. I'll help you. If you have questions, if you have concerns, email me, Canvas message me. I usually am pretty consistently working between 10 and 4, take a few breaks here and there. Those are the best times to get in touch with me. I usually get back on a couple hours in the evening, sometimes a little earlier in the morning. Having to balance things around the house and share resources as far as computers and internet. But the best way is to Canvas message, email me, and I'll try to get back to you in about 24 hours, if not sooner. Then we've been making the calls to stay in touch with you guys. But if you need anything, let us know. Let me know. We're here to help you. And in regards to my classes, I'm going to do everything I can to make you guys successful. You're great students, to quote Mr. Nuremberg. You're great kids. You're good kids. And you guys can all do this. We're going to get through. Take care of yourselves first and your family and those around you. And we'll make it through. So I'm going to sign off here. Stay in touch. Hope everybody has a great week. And I will talk to you later.